Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Trish, and I'll be your host for today. Thank you for joining us with today's webinar, Clean Water for Kibera, Kenya, a Service Endeavor. Without any delays, let's go ahead and get started. Today, our panelists consist of three very important people. We have our ViB founder, Sean Shea. Thank you, Sean. We have Heather Monahan. She's a professional author and professional speaker. Please, definitely, we're looking forward to hearing from her. And we have Christopher Beth, who is the founder of the Bucket Ministry. To begin today's webinar, we have a short video we'd like to share.
My name is Junior. I'm 10 years old and I was born in Kibera. I'm in class 3 in Jamhuri Primary School and I love playing football with my friends.
Kesho nitakuja nikisha toka home, sikia shafanya homework. Kama niko free usikunywe maji. Twende kwetu, kuna maji safi ya kunywa. Nifuate twende home. Come follow me.
All the poor and powerless, and all the lost and lonely, and all the thieves will come confess and know that you are holy, and know that you are holy, and all will sing out hallelujah, and we will cry out hallelujah. All the hearts who are content, and all who feel unworthy, and all who hurt with nothing left, will know that you are holy.
Hi mom, this is my friend. We want to go and drink water in the house.
Hallelujah, and we will cry out hallelujah, and all will sing out hallelujah, and we will cry out hallelujah. Shout it, go on and scream it from the mountains. Go on and tell it to.
And now let's turn it over to our first speaker, Sean Shea.
Thanks, Trish. Really an honor to be here tonight. Thank you for so many people that have signed up for this. It's like a record. I'm a little nervous because we have more than 700 registrations and more than 500 people will be live on this virtual meeting. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about my background and my personal encounters with the bucket ministry. And every time I see that video, I get a little derklempt, a little emotional. And I was just there a month ago, so it actually has even more of an impact. But as you saw in the video, there's more than 400,000 people that live in the size of an American mall with no running water, no sanitation. Some of you people on this webinar, some of my friends are here, employees, partners, and customers, and some of you, this is the first introduction to me and to Virtual Intelligence Briefing. My company is a company that specializes in helping generates leads. We're a data company, and we help companies to in the business-to-business space. I just came back from Kenya in March. I've been to Haiti a couple times where I'd helped in an orphanage, built a few houses, and through the years I've tried to make donations and help every year, and I do a little bit more. Just to give you a little bit of background in my story is I'm a person in long-term recovery. What that means is I'm a person that used to drink too much, and I had to make some changes to my life to deal with that situation. So I openly tell people about that because maybe somebody out there has a similar issue or knows somebody, and maybe I could be of help. But the reason why I bring it up here is one of the things that we're taught is to kind of heal ourselves and to use better tools. We're taught to help other people, to give back. One of the other things that we hear a lot in recovery is to identify, not compare. And so I'm going to ask everybody here tonight, when you hear Chris and when you hear Heather, try the best you can, especially in this day and age, is to identify and not compare, because you might hear me as talking about I'm in sales, or I'm a data company, or something about recovery, or maybe something about my faith or spiritual walk, and that's not yours, that's fine. But if we could identify and have common ground, I think we could do some good here. And the two things that I hope we could identify with tonight and be on the same page possibly is, if I can do something for another person in need, I would like to do it. And the second piece, if doing something, some act of kindness can improve my personal life, like, why am I here? I would like to do it too. And what I've learned so many times over the years is that if I do something to help another person to get out of my space or my head, or get off that little hamster wheel, called business, or today's virtual business, it always helps me. And it's so great when I could take a little time to help another person. So with that, I will pass the microphone.
Thank you, Sean. And hello, everyone. I'm Heather Monahan. I'm really excited to be here. Yes, I saw some of the comments in the chat thread saying how powerful that video was. I definitely was tearing up too. It seems so incredibly far away from where I'm sitting right now in my condo in Miami. And I don't know, I saw a lot of people, California, Arizona, you know, all around the country here. And no matter where we are, I'm certain we're in much better situations than that video that, you know, we just took a look at. And I appreciate Sean's idea of identifying instead of separating, right? So in our world right now, as we all know, there's tremendous division and separation. And I'm grateful to be on a call with you today, talking about unifying people and coming together for the greater good, which is so needed. And I'm really grateful ViB put this together. So I want to talk a little bit about business. That's kind of my thing, business. I write books about business and confidence, and obviously want to talk about this giving back program. You know, for me personally, and I don't know for any of you out there, I'd love to see a show of hands. How many of you have been in a corporate job? Maybe you're in one right now, and you're in the grind, you're in the hustle, you're chasing the number, right? You're trying to make the more money. You want to buy the boat. You need to pay for the school. You want to get the new house, right? How many people are in that race, right? So many of us, right, find ourselves in that race, and we lose sight of what really matters. And believe me, I've lost sight of it so many times in my career. I can remember being on that hamster wheel that Sean mentioned, you know, just going through the motions and losing passion and losing purpose. And it's hard when you're in it, right? When you're in it and you have that bill to pay, or you've got that stress on you and you're so laser focused on getting things done, we almost become these not so nice versions of ourselves, right? Am I the only one? Please tell me I'm not the only one, right? So we're chasing the money and trying to force things to happen. And luckily for me, I've met some incredible people like Sean at ViB and a team at ViB and some other people across my career that have snapped me out of those moments and reminded me of what really matters. And that's why I'm so glad you are here today, because we all need that reminder once in a while. So for me, I came up through corporate America. I was in corporate America for over 20 something years. And I remember one day in my early 30s having this realization that there's just got to be more to this, right? Like I make shareholders wealthier that's my life purpose. No, this can't be. And as I sat and really tried to challenge myself to think about this, like, what am I put here to do? I remembered being in my early 20s, I was running a company in Saginaw, Michigan, of all places. Do we have any Michigan people here right now? I'll be so excited if we do. I hope we do. Shout out to Michigan. So I was in Saginaw, Michigan, running a company in my early 20s. I was all alone. I was really isolated. And like many people these days, you know, isolation seems to be the norm. I was struggling, looking for that purpose, looking for that connection, and wondering, you know, what am I doing other than just making money and making wealthy people wealthier? And I started putting it out there. You know, I was trying to meet new people and find new contacts. And I would talk to people, you know, what's happening in the community. And I remember I met someone that said, hey, you might be interested in this thing called Underground Railroad. And I said, well, what is it? And she said, and at the time I didn't have children back then. And she said, you know, it's about these women who had been beaten and had children and had to escape these awful domestic violence situations. It's a shelter that's there to help them, a safe space for them to go. And so I got involved, and I was looking for connection. I was looking for purpose. It was perfect. And it really spoke to me. And I was living somewhere where I didn't know anybody, and I was able to come in and start getting involved. And suddenly I started feeling more grateful every day. Suddenly I started feeling purpose driven and purpose led. Suddenly I wanted to make more money at work because I wanted to give to this initiative. And all through this process, I'm seeing these women and seeing these people firsthand that I'm impacting, just like you saw on that video, just like Sean saw when he was just with these people a month ago. And there's this connection and this realness, no matter how far away something is, and maybe you're not with these people every day, and maybe we haven't visited this situation, we saw it with our own eyes. It's real. And we know there's something we can do about it. So I remember I took that mission bigger than myself, and I started going to work. I was in the advertising business. And I started telling my clients, all my clients about it, saying, hey, listen, this is something that you can get involved in too if you want to. And I remember I had this really negative client. How many of you out there have that one client that you dread seeing? The curmudgeon. That's what I call this client. He was a curmudgeon. There was always something wrong. It was always a problem. But this guy had the largest ad spend in the market. And I had to spend quite a bit of time there with him. And I never looked forward to it. And I remember telling the team, I'm going to tell him about Underground Railroad. And everyone said, you are crazy. The curmudgeon doesn't care about anybody else. And I said, I don't care. I care enough about these people that I'm not doing a service to them if I at least don't give them the shot to help. And I was nervous, and I went into his office that day and I explained to him that this had nothing to do with work and there was no hard feelings if he didn't want to get involved. If he did, he could, but I at least had to make him aware. And I told him about this one woman that I had met and about her struggle and how, we could help and what we could do. And he was very quiet and he listened and he got involved, and he ended up being the biggest donor in the community to this charity. And he ended up changing the lives of so many people. And through these months, as I saw him get involved, I saw that curmudgeon start evolving into a really warm, caring person. For whatever reason, whatever things had happened in his business or his life that had left him a little stale or angry or hurt, and it showed to everybody, suddenly that started melting away. And that lesson that I had learned, I had forgotten about. And as I moved to Florida and got into bigger companies and into bigger leadership positions, I forgot about it too. And over time, I started remembering, wait a minute, there's got to be a purpose tied to this business. We've got to tie a purpose to this income, to these challenges that are out there, so that we start showing up with a mission, so we start changing the world. Now I have a child that I want to lead. My child, I'm sure any of you out there that have kids want to lead by example. We want our kids to be a part of a world that is more connected and more united and about helping and making things better. And the best way we can do that is how we show up every day. And I can tell you this, that tonight I'm super excited that the opportunity to donate to this initiative. I'm going to have my son is going to make his own donation, and I'm going to make my own. This will be the first time in his life. He doesn't know it yet. Yes. So that'll be exciting. It'll be easier than the curmudgeon, I promise, but it'll be his first opportunity to give on his own, which I'm so excited for that opportunity. I'm grateful that we're in a position to do that. I'm grateful that you're here and have that same opportunity tonight too, to lead not only your community, not only on behalf of this initiative, but maybe for your family too, and involve your people in something better. Because we all have this moment of disconnect. We all have this moment of forgetting what really matters, why we are really here. We're really here to do good in the world. And even though that might seem so pie in the sky and really, is that really it? I truly believe that it is. And I truly believe you're all here tonight because you do want to do more good in the world. You do want to have an impact, and you do want to change this world, whether it be through your business and the initiatives that you're doing, or be through you giving here tonight, or leading your families to teach them to give. I promise you that every small step that we make, every small thing that we do that brings more good, that brings more light, more caring, and more helping others, not only will it help your business, not only will it help make the world a better place, it's going to help you find more joy. And in life, isn't it really about that peace and joy that we get in making this world a better place? I really believe that. I truly believe that. And I want just to read a quick paragraph from my friend's book, which is amazing. It's called The Good Money Revolution. I know a lot of people have a negative connotation around money and this idea that money is just out there for people who are the curmudgeons and who are greedy. And he wrote this book as someone who's incredibly successful, very, very wealthy. And he's built every business he's ever built off the foundation of giving back. Everything that he does has a give back component. And that is what he attributes his success to. So when you leave here tonight, not only do I hope that you give to this initiative and help support changing this water shortage and situation, which is so horrific. I hope that you do. I hope that you can do that today. But I also hope you look at your own business, whether you're a corporate employee, you have a side hustle, or you have your own company. Think about what give back can you make within your company. Don't forget that people do business with people they know, like, and trust. And as you want to elevate your business, as you want to make more money, as you want your company to go to that next level, make your company one that people not only know, like, and trust, but they know, like, and trust because you're changing the world just like ViB is today. This small part means so much. And every single one of us can do it. We can all do it through this event tonight and on our own initiatives. So please think about that after the call tonight. Okay, and I promise I am not a librarian. This will be very short. When you start earning and saving with a purpose that excites you, it will motivate you, lighting a fire within you that burns so bright that it will lead to success in every area of your life. It will motivate you to do whatever you have to do to build your bank account, whether it's being successful in your job, getting a raise, starting a side hustle, or growing your own business. You will acknowledge your power to radically revolutionize your family's future and the future of the world around you. I'm asking you to rethink your attitude about money and giving, and to join the good money revolution, one person at a time. Your money can impact the world. And that's what we're here to do tonight. I'm so grateful to be here, and I'm so grateful to hand this off to Chris, who is out there hands-on making this happen. Chris, can't wait for you to share with everybody the work that you're doing. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Heather. That is an amazing word, and I think I need to write a check tonight. So I want to unpack a really big story in a short amount of time. And as we're looking at this scene right now, you are seeing the Kibera slum from above, which is roughly 3 square miles of rusty metal tin shacks that are located in Nairobi, Kenya, basically hidden in plain sight. And before we dig more into Kibera itself, I want to talk about the problem. And the problem is this thing that I'm holding right now. This isn't necessarily a problem, but the situation with the people of Kibera. They currently have no access to clean water. So the World Health Organization cites that 785 million people lack access to clean water. 785 million people don't have something that I take for granted every single day. 785 million people think that this water is actually clean and that's what they're supposed to drink. And to put that in perspective, that is more than twice the population of the United States. More than twice the population of the United States doesn't have this gift that I'm holding right now. So what we're talking about now is the Kibera slum. As I said, Kibera is located in the middle of Nairobi, Kenya. There is 95,228 homes located in Kibera. That totals about 408,000 people. These 408,000 people live in abject poverty. Abject poverty is defined as living on $2 a day or less. And most of the experts in this type of endeavor will tell you that that is abject poverty is where the people of Kibera live. And if we could go back to that last slide, please. Yeah, let's camp out on this one. So Kibera itself is built on a hillside. And of those 408,000 people that have to call this home, many of them are children and many of them are unsupervised as children. That means that their parents are not there most of the day because their parents have to have a job. So these children are set to raise other children. And because there's no potable water, there's no water being piped to the homes, there's no electricity except for temporary scabbed on electricity, you see children that are living in existence that most of us would be terrified to see our child living in. Kibera itself is on a hillside, as you can see from this picture. And all the wastewater from the water that these people haul to their homes, which is unclean, unsafe for anyone to drink, much less children, all this water that gets disposed of because there's no septic systems, runs downhill, and it runs into the river at the bottom of the hill. And let's go to the next slide. So the water that you see down here is at the bottom of Kibera, and Sean and I were just walking around this area just a few weeks ago. And as you see here, there's rusty metal tin shacks everywhere that people call home. There is not one improved floor in these 95,000 homes that are there. They're living in dirt floor with no food preparation. And there's 78 latrines to service 408,000 people. And it's almost impossible to figure out the math on how that works. But I will tell you that the entire area is filled with sewage, and it's an extremely toxic area just to walk around in. But yet 408,000 people are relegated to live here because they have no access to any other opportunities. So most of the population of the 408,000 are children, and many of the children and many adults draw water from these water sources at the bottom of that river. And as you can see, this child drawing water right now, this is what they consider normal. This is what they think that that's what they're supposed to be drinking. And the thing that will wreck you a little bit is thinking about that these people that live in Kibera, these people around the world that don't have access to clean water, they think that having what we would call a runny stomach or diarrhea is normal. So most of these children that we experience in this slum, the mothers do not name them for their first 2 years of life. And why don't they name them? I couldn't understand this. They don't name them because many of them don't make it past 2 because they have to drink this water. So there's some good news here, and I want to get to the good news because I'm trying to share with you what Kibera looks like. And so you've got some visuals of it now. Let's talk about what we're doing as the Bucket Ministry. We are a very simple organization, and one of our largest focuses is delivering clean, safe drinking water. So we use a tool, next slide, please. We use a tool that attaches to a bucket that is a portable water filter that's made by a company in Tampa, Florida. And this is a hollow fiber membrane filter that is made from kidney dialysis technology. So this filter attaches to any bucket or receptacle, and when water flows through it, the fibers on this filter will remove all bacteria, all parasites, all protozoans, worm eggs, and it will remove conditions like typhoid, cholera, salmonella, E. coli infections, giardia, amoebic dysentery. And not only will it remove it right then, but this filter, if cared for properly, will last for over 20 years. So think about this. This one little tool will provide these people clean, safe drinking water for over 20 years. So if you guys don't mind, I'd like to take just a minute and show you how this filter works. And so I went ahead and collected some lake water today from the lake that's right by my home and put it in just a standard soda bottle here. And we're going to go ahead and screw this Sawyer water filter on the top of this. And I think you should be able to see this a little bit better. And I'm going to take a clear cup and I'm going to squeeze this water through the filter and into the cup. And so all I'm gonna do is force the water through the filter, and we will make clean, safe drinking water. So the filter has removed all the bacteria, all the parasites, all the protozoans that were in this, leaving clean, safe drinking water. Now, most of us on this call, very educated people, and we know it's not the things in the water that we can see that are going to make us sick. It's the things that we can't see. So I will tell you, we work in over 20 countries around the world with this tool to reach people. And we have drank water that makes this water look very clean. Safe and tasty. So at the end of the day, I would like to explain a little bit more about our process. So let's go to the next slide if we can, Trish. All right, let's camp out there for a sec. One more back, perfect. So what you're seeing right now is a barcode that is on a filter similar to this one I'm holding right now. And we barcode every filter uniquely that we distribute around the world. And then at the point of distribution, we scan this filter with a smart device, and we collect statistical information, demographic information from the recipient families that receive these. And then every time we go back for a follow-up visitation with this family to make sure that the filter is running properly, and we do this 3 times in the first 3 months, we also scan this barcode. And what this means for you guys is that when we scan this barcode and you decide that you want to sponsor a family, you decide that you want to sponsor maybe 10 families, or maybe you decide, hey, listen, I want to take care of an entire village inside Kibera. What happens at that point is you become the sponsor of this filter, and at the point of scanning this information is then zapped back to the United States, and it arrives to your phone and your email as a notification, and you get to see a live picture of the people that you have just helped have clean, safe drinking water. So the technology is amazing, and the technology will also show you where your resources end up. Because here's the thing that Heather said that I think is super important is, for some of us, this is a new path that we're going to walk on, right? And I know for me, I'm kind of a visual guy. I want to know where my money is ending up, and I want to see it go to work. So the great part about this technology, great part about this mission mapping technology that we use, is the fact that we can now show you exactly where your resources are going. So these are just some examples of a lot of the organizations, the businesses that are involved with this campaign right now. And there's obviously some pretty big name companies in here. And I think the exciting part is there's opportunities here for everyone. So we can provide a water filter, a bucket, anti-parasitic medicines for the family in 3 follow-up visitations for $50. So, and that's for a family. So we can give a family clean, safe drinking water for over 20 years for less than you can take your family to Applebee's and have one dinner. And so there's opportunities here for everyone. And so maybe you're thinking, well, I'd like to sponsor one family in Kibera. I think that sounds fantastic. Well, great. You can do that for $50 and you're going to see that family. Or maybe you say, hey, I want to take care of 10 families. So at the end of the day, the question becomes is how many people, how many families do you want to help today? How many families is your generosity going to reach?
Thanks, Chris. That was great. Couple things, because want to talk about the stadium as a visual. A couple of reminders here that you might have seen in the email or on the registration page. ViB is going to match all the donations tonight. So we're hoping for a goal of 10,000 at a minimum, and we will match that. Also, this company, Virtual Intelligence Briefing, as soon as I got back from that trip, I was so compelled. Before I even left there, I signed up for another trip before I even got out of there. And my 24-year-old son saw some of the pictures. He wants to go. So that's going to be tremendous. All our sales from April through August, World Water Month, we're going to donate 1.5% of our sales to this initiative. That is going to be a couple $100,000. That will fill the stadium, 27,000 people, 7,000 families. As Chris said, there's like about 4 people in every one of those little shelters. So 27,000 people will have safe drinking water because of this initiative. And the one last thing that I want to say is, one thing here at ViB, because there's been some good questions, right, about why Kibera, why this? And, there's a lot of poverty everywhere. And here at ViB, we have a culture of giving, right? One of the things that we do, the employees we have a Pay It Forward Friday. So people in the United States, that's where most employees are, they go and they help locally. Myself and a bunch of other people were at a homeless shelter in Palm Beach, Florida over the weekend. We're starting an initiative to train homeless to get computer skills. So it's all kinds of great ways to participate, but there's really no other. I mean, this slum, 400,000 people with nothing is a whole nother dimension. And because I was personally there and saw it, that's why we're doing this. And the one last thing I want to leave with is that we saw the people in Kibera. Now a couple hundred people in that slum have jobs now through the bucket ministry. So they have a wage to get by. They were helped and saved by the bucket. Now they're distributing the bucket. They're leading the distribution. The greatest thing was every single family that I visited in the follow-up visit, because Chris just said the bucket is great technology, but a lot of the magic really is in those follow-up visits to teach the people and remind the people how to wash their hands, how to clean the bucket, how to clean the filter. Every single family that we visited, that I saw at the first visit, 10 days after they got the bucket, they were overjoyed that they were no longer sick. They no longer had diarrhea. They no longer had headaches. They no longer had skin rashes and all kinds of things. In 10 days, one big burden was lifted from them. So, that's what, that's what inspired me to do more, and just, appreciate everybody's time, and I'll pass the baton.
Okay, so we have a few questions. So the first one was, and I'd answered this, but I'll have you answer it as well. Where can you donate tonight?
Gonna put this right there. Just put it in the chat.
Perfect. Just want to make sure that everyone can see that again in case you missed the question the first time. So next question, which Sean, you briefly discussed it, but so one question is, aren't there similar situations here in the US that could use the same help, and why did you choose this question as the priority?
Well, maybe Chris can touch upon that, because I'm not an expert in world poverty. I mean, I could just tell you that our company, we do support lots of US local efforts, And the reason for this particular focus is, because I was physically there, and there's lots of statistics that indicate this is the world's largest slum, or one of the top 5 slums. And, again, these people, there's literally nothing there. There is no access to government programs. There's no access to any kind of help. There's not even clean water. So because I personally viewed it, it had a huge impact. So that's why this is at the forefront.
Yeah, I think that's a perfect way to say that, Sean. And there are issues everywhere that people can dig into. And for us, it's really simple. We go where there is not clean, safe drinking water, that this tool will be a solution. And while this tool is wonderful for long-term sustainability, it's not a silver bullet. It's not going to take out the situation that we saw in Flint, Michigan, for example, the chemical infiltration of lead. So we work where this tool will improve lives and will provide hope to people. And so that's kind of our direction, is looking to where this tool can work and change lives.
Next question, how do these families care for the filter in order to ensure it will last 20 years, and what training is provided?
Oh, that's a great question. And this is one I'm excited to answer. So this filter is so remarkably simple that it is cleaned with its own clean water. So you'll make a cup of water with this and take a syringe that we provide, and it's back flushed with its own clean water, and it forces out all the dirt and contaminants that are caught in the filter. And people are taught to do this at least once a day or every time they go through a bucket of water. So we provide the training initially on how to clean it. And during that training, all the recipients have to demonstrate that they know how to clean it. They physically get hands-on. And then, and this is the really amazing part, we are able to go back in 7 to 10 days to every family's home that we've given this to and identify, are they cleaning it properly? If not, we reteach and let them teach us back how to clean it. But the simplicity of cleaning it is we can teach a 7-year-old or a 97-year-old how to clean this in a minute or less. It's simply just back flushing with its own water.
So what is in the filter that makes it more powerful than other water filters like Brita's?
Well, it is a hollow fiber membrane. So think of it as porous straws, and the water flows in from the outside of the straw, and then the clean water flows out from the inside of the straw. And again, it's kidney dialysis technology. So this is not a new technology. This technology is 25 years old, but it's about 10 years old in these small portable water filters. And again, it doesn't do everything, right? At the end of the day, it provides a great solution for people that are drinking unclean water from lakes, rivers, streams, whatever it might be. But the hollow fiber membrane technology is very long lasting and very easy to clean. Unlike other filters that you might have mentioned where you have to replace the cartridge. In this, you don't replace anything. You just keep back flushing.
So if you could repeat right quick, Chris, where do they get their source of water for filtering?
There's multiple sources of water that they get in Kibera. Some of them are surface water sources like streams. Some of them are illegally tapped water lines that people carry their yellow jerry cans up to fill them in. And there's bacteria loaded in that water because it's not treated water. And sometimes they buy water from water vendors that are also unclean sources as we've tested them, and it's loaded with bacteria.
So a few questions about the filter still. So this only works with specific types of dirty water, and what kind of bacteria diseases would this filter not purify?
Well, this filter takes out all bacteria. It's a 0.1 micron filter, which means that it captures everything at 0.1 micron or larger. So it's going to remove all bacteria, all protozoans, all other parasites. The things that the filter will not remove are chemicals, like we talked about, lead, using Flint, Michigan as an example. Did I answer that, Karen?
I think so, yes. So one attendee asked, how do you select which family to help?
Well, that's a great question. And our heart is we want to help as many people as possible. So we made, with friends like Sean, we made a commitment to provide all the people of Kibera, 95,228 homes, 95,228 families with clean, safe water in the next 2.5 years. So that selection process is nothing that's necessarily easy, because this is a very large project. This is a $4.7 million project to provide all these people with hope and with a long-lasting, sustainable tool that's going to eliminate waterborne disease in their family. So we work in over 20 different countries, and many people bring campaigns or projects to us to look at. And we first want to determine, because we work exclusively with this Sawyer water filter, we want to know first, is this the right solution for that area? And if this is the right solution, then we start researching the area, and the vetting process can be months at a time to get ready to go to work in an area. But we want to know that this is going to provide hope and life change to these people in these areas.
Can we buy the filters individually?
Absolutely. So on our website, we have a program called Buy One, Give One, and where you can provide a family a water filter, and then you're going to get one shipped to you for your own use. And it's thebucketministry.org.
One person asked if the different links that we provided, if they are shareable on social media as well, or is there a social media post they can share corporately? That might be a Sean Shea question.
That's a Sean question. So we will, afterwards, when everybody will receive a follow-up email to remind them, and a link to this recording, and there'll be a couple of shareable links.
That's thebucketministry.org, not .com, .org, please.
Are there any chemicals used in the filter?
There are no chemicals whatsoever. It's purely membranes that filter the water.
How can we get in touch with us, with the Bucket Ministry?
So probably the simplest way is through email, and it's info, I-N-F-O, at thebucketministry.org. Or if any one of Sean's customers just sends Sean or his team a note, I'm quite sure it will make its way to us.
Mm-hmm.
One person is curious if there is a similarly convenient type of filter that filters out lead.
Not as simple. There are filters that remove lead, but they're quite a bit larger, quite a bit more expensive, and that's not anything that we work with.
And then maybe one more time, Sean, how do you tie the donation to this webinar?
So on the screen, that the third one, where that link there, that bucketministry.givingfuel, that link, that one is tied directly to this webinar. So we will know and match the donation. So great question. So it's the link on the third item on the screen. Great questions, great responses. Heather, thank you so much. Chris, and we people are still here, so people are engaged, and lots of donations are flowing in. So I would encourage you to again think about what you just saw, and your help would be appreciated. And thank you so much for people coming on here and learning more about the bucket ministry.
All right, everyone. Well, as Sean said, we thank you all for sitting in and listening to our panelists today. Just a quick few reminders. We will be sending out those gift cards within the next 7 business days. And for those who would like to donate, we do have a couple QR codes on the screen here. On the left, you're able to donate by just scanning this with your camera on your phone, and it'll take you directly to the webpage. And on the left-hand side, we have the Learn More. So if you'd like to find out more information before you take the leap of donating, we greatly appreciate you all coming today. And thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, Trey.